To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day.
So here we are, back with the finale of Fallout Season 2, Episode 8. And coming off the back of a stronger episode in Episode 7, I'm wondering, can we stick something of a landing, or will the spinning plates come crashing down? As always, this is my gripes and opinions on the episode, and not a full breakdown review. Others do that a heck of a lot better than me, so check them out. And as always, spoilers ahead. We open on the Legion Aftermath. I don't know how many episodes ago that was, but we're here anyway. Home Alone claims Kaiser's body, and he reads the note that was left there. The note says exactly what Joshua Graham always said throughout the Honest Hearts DLC, which was the Legion dies with Kaiser. Home Alone then claims the mantle for himself, killing some other guy who just happened to be in the tent with him at the time, and now proclaims their new goal is to claim Vegas and build Kaiser's palace. Inside the Lucky 38, we have the Ghoul and Mr. House. Mr. House confirms that his body has been a target for years, and it always was. Is this a nod to New Vegas and the ways in which you could dispatch Mr. House, or is it just a thing in general that they're trying to do? Although Mr. House confirms it's good to be back, suggesting that he had been away for some time. Does this now mean that his mind was uploaded into the computer always, and you killing him in New Vegas now means nothing because, yeah, the retcon comes in that it was the diode that was the key to everything, and it would reveal the hidden vault for management if he had got that in the first place. The Ghoul threatens to shoot the cold fusion device, but the ramifications would be so unknown, he decides to work with Mr. House to get his family back. Mr. House provides a Mr. House version of the Pipboy. On to Freeside, the Deathclaws emerge into Freeside. Thaddeus tries to help, and Maximus ends up turning heel and gets everybody to run, before deciding, you know what, we'll go toe-to-toe anyway. The NCR power armor seems to have weapons now activated on it, which provides a rocket barrage and dispatches 2 Deathclaws quite readily. However, it seems that inside the strip area, the Deathclaws have multiplied like rabbits since a couple of episodes ago, and there's now 8 ready to go. Lucy confronts the head, which seemingly reanimates, begs to die, and Lucy obliges. Norm is being brought out, and his girlfriend triggers the Roach elevator after getting attacked by Bud. The Roaches attack mercilessly, with some of the dwellers being dispatched faster than others. Buds get trapped in some little room, and Norm hides under a desk, and yeah, they're definitely all dead in there. Mr. House explains that Vault Tech always wanted to build a vault beneath the city. Are we just disregarding Vault 21? But okay. Again, he says he was always one step ahead and he rigged everything about it. However, he says the shadowy figures behind the vaults were actually 2 steps ahead, and he didn't foresee this. The vault belongs to the investors, which House claims that he didn't think someone could be 1 step ahead until he saw the demon in the snow. Maximus seems to be dispatching the Deathclaws with ease at this stage, giving another middle finger to the kings. However, he is out of firepower in the power armor, and the power armor is getting pretty cooked. Finally, he starts getting his own ass handed to him, but Thaddeus bets 500 caps that Maximus will win. Inside the vault, Lucy emerges upset with what she had done, and we get no explanation of why the Congresswoman's head was in there. Mr. House says that he was off by a smidge predicting the end of the world. He claims it was an invisible adversary who set the Deathclaws into New Vegas, and Hank confronts Lucy. He badmouths Mr. House wanting to turn people into robots. Hank explains that he was trying to add personality with the microchips, and he explains the Congresswoman was someone slightly important, but he says Daddy's job is complicated. House explains that the Enclave's eyes are everywhere, saying that the Ghoul should have known this 200 years ago whenever he gave the diode directly to them. The flashbacks are now intercut with the Ghoul making his way down the corridor. A young Hank has proposed to Stephanie, saying thanks very much for the assist, Coop, and all the phones start to ring ominously. Lucy and Hank start to talk endgames, Hank saying that miniaturization is the way to go, saying that we won't know who's been doctored or not, just a little small scar on their back of their necks. I'm sure that'll play into season 3. Anyway, the Legion guy presents himself now, and Hank says Lucy will be his little girl again. The Legion guy easily fights her off, and the Ghoul enters the vault, with his family being on subfloor 7. Maximus is taking a beating, and the bets keep on rolling. It's nice of the Deathclaws just to go one at a time, not like with me in my first experience in Quarry Junction. Anyway, a new player enters the game, which is Thaddeus with a toe shot. but it's short-lived and Maximus is seemingly done for. Hank prepares the chip for Lucy, but the Ghoul comes in and kills the Legion guy and shoots Hank in the ass, leaving the final decision of what happens to him up to Lucy. Maximus's armor is toast and he has a final few moment flashbacks. He must have some energy left as he climbs out of the armor, grabs his spear and a roulette shield and stands ready for death. This inspires some of the Freesiders, or one of the Freesiders, to stand with him, and the rest go, yeah, not today thanks. The Deathclaw approaches and we get a sniper shot, followed by a mirror shot of the NCR Ranger firing the anti-material rifle from the opening of New Vegas itself, which dispatches the Deathclaw in, it's a cool scene. The NCR march into Vegas with their banner held high, so they still do exist, but where have they been for the past 2 seasons? It was very much established or pushed that the NCR had pretty much dissolved after the loss of Shady Sands, but this now contradicts that even further. Okay, whatever. It's a small battalion, despite there still being more Deathclaws pouring out of the Strip. Hank then limps onto the Vegas Strip, which has seemingly been cleared from the Deathclaws quite rapidly. He is now chipped and seemingly controlled by Lucy, however, he's still speaking like old Hank. I guess she hasn't pushed the button yet. He realizes he's not going back to the vault, and Lucy says the surface changes a person. Hank warns the Legion is coming. How he knows this, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, he tries to bargain again, and Lucy asks again, what was he really planning? Hank says the surface is the experiment, not the vaults, claiming to have put the R&D out into the wasteland. He has another control monitor saying that they have orders. Pressing the button himself, it seems to nullify him. I would presume he plans to reset the surface again, but I guess we'll never know because now his mind is wiped and he doesn't even recognize his own daughter. They have a tender moment and Lucy walks off, just leaving him there. Maximus and Lucy find each other and they embrace. We jump across to the vault where we find Steph, and the demands to force her to open up the keepsafe box, which actually contains an Enclave variant Pipboy, and that looks actually pretty sleek. That's taking number 1 spot instead of the Pipboy 3 billion. I like that variant. Anyway, she broadcasts on the device saying to initiate Phase 2. This takes us back to the Enclave base at the start of Season 1. It is still functional in presuming the mountains. Is this Alaska or is this hinting towards Colorado? Who knows at this stage. Anyway, Norm crawls out from underneath his desk and sees that all the Vault Tech employees are now Radroach soup. And that's a lot of Pip-Boys up for grabs. Somehow, the Roaches and the Dwellers have killed each other, yet Norm's girlfriend still lives? Anyway, Mr. House and the Ghoul reach sub-level 7. House warns that the Enclave is still out there and it's still very dangerous. Coop, pre-war, picks up the phone. Pre-war House says that whatever happens next isn't him. The Ghoul finally reaches the cryopods and looks into them. House asks, shall he open them? The pod opens and we find it empty. Both of them empty. You bet on hope and you lost. The men in black arrest Coop. Is Barb in on this? I don't know. But anyway, at the bottom of the cryopod is a postcard left for Colorado. A note on the back, Colorado was a good idea. It shows that Coop forwarded Barb all his plans and knowledge, and now he knows his family is alive. How he knows this from the little slip, I don't know, but okay. House warns that the Enclave is still out there, but the Ghoul just wants his family, dropping the Pip-Boy down and going off on his own lonesome. The Legion marches towards the Vegas Strip. They have a much larger army, it seems, and somehow Lucy and Maximus are now back inside the 38. The signal lost is still on the screen of the big monitor. Where has House gone? Is he trapped inside the Pip-Boy now? And they see the Legion marching closer. Lucy says they could have prevented this, or she could have prevented this, but they go hand in hand into the credits. House flickers on screen for just a faint moment, and the Ghoul looks towards Colorado with dog meat. The end credits roll. All in all, this begs the question, can a season justify itself on the last episode alone, or in this case, the last 2 episodes? For Landman Season 2, I was able to forgive it. For Fallout, I'm not entirely sure. This episode certainly has its moments, but where the hell was this level of storytelling and editing the previous 6 episodes? We're set up for another season should they choose to renew it. Will the war for the Strip now be settled in the first episode? Will House return as its staple? Where has the NCR been hiding? Who knows? What happened to the rest of the mind-controlled people inside the executive vault? Again, who knows? Yes, we still have questions unanswered and retcons thrown in for the sake of it, but I'm sure they will be explained away by the die-hard fans of the show as it doesn't matter. In short, what did this episode boil down to? It was a Deathclaw brawl in the streets of Freeside, Lucy and Hank getting a bittersweet ending, the Ghoul still not finding his family but still rejecting House as if he didn't learn anything over the past 200 years, initiation of Phase 2, whatever that might be, and plot armor protecting Norm and his girlfriend but killing the rest. New Vegas almost reset itself, but instead of the battle for Hoover Dam, it's now the battle for the Strip. Pulled back from the grand scheme of things, and again, much like the rest of the season, does anything really happen? Yes and no, I suppose. House was brought back as a pretty cool character, but the explanation of how he's still alive is never really explained, nor how the Securitrons went down. They meddled with this character from the outset, but then tried to justify him in the end. I like the fact that they didn't outright paint him as a bad guy in the end, like I presume they would have done, judging by the earlier episodes. Heck, even the explanation of the Deathclaws being the Enclave did it. I doubt that we will ever get anything explained about this next season. The explanation of the Congresswoman's head being there never really got explained either. I like the tension between Lucy and Hank because it worked. I suppose it begs the deeper question of how far would you go if a loved one was doing what they believed to be right and you seen it as wrong? And that fits both their perspectives at this moment. For the Ghoul's future, and something I think the show will avoid, is the Legion holds vast territory in Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah. Will we ever be seeing any of this? For the Legion, Nevada and Vegas was their front, and they were pushing into this area, but everything behind is heavily established, so what's the course of play here? Additionally, Kaiser did have a line of succession planned, so to leave a note saying the Legion dies with me, get wrecked losers is a bit obscure. Additionally, Colorado plays a significant role in the Fallout Tactics game, as the supercomputer known as the Calculator is located in Vault Zero, based out of the Cheyenne Mountains, and it is the ultimate opponent of the game, with several Coloradian locations appearing within that game as well. So is this playing into Nolan's hand of his hard-on for AI adversaries? I guess we'll wait another 2 years and see which way the wind blows then at that stage. Anyway, what did you think of this season overall? I do plan to do a couple of more videos after this fact. Whether or not you'll stick around for those, I don't know. My opinions seem to be heating up and really annoying a few people. But yes, keep your opinions coming and comment below. Like the video if you liked it. Watch the rest of the videos of this series. And now that we have the full, complete story of Season 2, yeah, just let me know what you thought in its entirety. I guess in the end, much like any form of medium that a fan isn't pleased or happy with, as the articles put it now, it's not made for you. Yet, the Mojave did belong to us. Every ending we wrote, every faction we toppled or crowned, every quiet moment on the roof of the Lucky 38, it was ours. The Courier wasn't just a character, they were the version of us that finally got to matter in that broken, beautiful desert. Then the cameras arrived. They walked the same streets. The streets no longer remembered us. Retcons slid in like stealth boys. The house disappeared. The Strip's glitter became dull. The war we fought feels like a footnote no one bothered to read. All the blood, the roads we walked, the betrayals and heroic moments reduced to background noise for someone else's story. We tried. We told ourselves it was just another timeline, just another what if. We replayed the game, modded it, wrote the endings we wanted back into existence. But every time we looked at the Strip now, we see the version that doesn't need us anymore. The version that was never waiting for our career to arrive or return to. To begin again, replaying New Vegas though, that's not the hard part. It's letting go.